In today's session, we are going to discuss linguistic features of academic paper in medical field and explore intensive reading on one academic paper titled Why Relatives Do Not Donate Organs for Transplants, Sacrifice a Gift of Life Today. As we all know, the medical English is a general topic for us. In fact, it can be divided into specific subjects in English, such as physiology, anatomy, biochemistry, medical genetics, and so on. However, today our reading just focuses on the general medical English. Before we start to move on, I would like to review some linguistic features of the medical English. It's very common to feel frustrated when we ask to read a medical academic paper written in English, because we may find it's difficult in vocabularies. It's quite common that a lot of concepts are already illustrated in terms of great number of terminologies in the paper. Yeah, let's see what's that. Is it a sentence? No, most of us may not know what it means, because it's a medical word, especially a terminology term. So, it's obvious that medical academic paper has its specific features. You can see they explain there, such as common words with a specific meaning, more than 2/3 nouns and terminologies are derived from the Latin and the Greek, especially in rich affix, and using more formal words instead of informal. All above are the linguistic features at the vocabulary level. There are still some features in sentences level for the general medical English, such as long declarative sentence is commonly used, and the perfect tense, present simple tense, and past simple tense are frequently used. In addition, it's necessary to pay attention to the formal forms of the sentences in the medical English. Now, let's have a look at the general structure of the paper in the medical field. In fact, it's similar to other academic paper in other fields. That includes title, authors, abstract, keywords, main text, references, and the supplementary material. However, the main text is always looked at the introduction, methods, results, discussion, and conclusion. Acknowledgement, let's view the function for each of them. Title clearly describes the contents. Authors ensure recognition for the writers. Abstract describe clearly what was done. The keywords ensure the article is correctly identical in abstracting and indexing service. In the main text, introduction is to explain the hypothesis and the background information. Method explains how the data were collected and analyzed. Results is describe what was discovered. Discussion is conclusion is to discuss the implication of the findings. Acknowledgement is to ensure those who helped in the research recognized. References is the list previously published work of recognized. The last, supplementary material, is to provide supplementary data for the expert reader. Okay, it's time to start to read this article. You may find the sources and the author's information of the paper here. Then come warming up question for you. Please read the questions and go through the brief structure of the article here. Now, let's read the article in details. In the first paragraph, actually, in introduction part, the author explained the significance of the topic, denote organs, and tell reader why this topic is interesting. During the process of reading, please pay attention to some language points here, which are highlighted. In the first sentence, there is a global shortage of denote organs to meet It actually presents the significance of the topic. Then, in the second sentence, at the time of writing implies the current situation of topic. After introduction, we can go through from the second paragraph to the sixth paragraph to get some background information about the social context of organ donation and the research with the bereaved relatives of the potential organ donors. In this part, we get to know why those two words of sacrifice or gift of life are used in the title. It's because of the social context of the organ donation. And also, we can get some information from special support for the research that we may find the sentence in paragraph 6. The present study was commissioned by UK. If you are curious about the methods of the study, you also can start to read from the paragraph 7 to paragraph 9. Some details about the aim of the study and the method designed by the researchers in this study are discussed. How about the data collection and the analysis? Usually, it's easy to understand the sentence patterns to present data. But you just be familiar with some terms on statistics or methods in the contents, such as retrospective, cross-sectional, qualitative interview, etc. How it's worth mentioning here is description of participants in paragraph 8, a self-selecting convinced sample of the 26 relatives who declined donation of the organs. Tissues of 23 decreased individuals were recruited to the study. Please do think over how can we describe participants clearly and its vital parts in the experimental study. Now, let's come to the paragraph 10. Ethical consideration in this paper could also be quite important information in this study. You know, sometimes it's a must for a lot of medical journals. Anyhow, you cannot ignore linguistic feature of the medical English shown here. Most of the sentences are written in passive voice and past simple tense are highly used, such as participants were given. The second sentence, face-to-face interview well designed. Let's go on. Please keep in mind the funding is always tightly related to the objective and the aim of a study. That means you need to read between the lines here in paragraph 11 and 12. Sometimes we may doubt the funding, even the methods of the study. Yeah, maybe that is a great point that we need to try to find the answer for the curiosity and the doubts for the paragraph 13 to paragraph 17 in the discussion. It looks quite long and boring, but it's very important, and let's go into detail of that. Also, you will find some interesting points from the different previous researchers arguing the same or similar views, such as Richardson fonts, Callahan fields, feeding bag details. All this may help you to fully understand the implication of the results of the paper. Let's take a long, complex sentence in 13th paragraph as an example. Understanding what influenced participants to decline donation despite having positive views. In this sentence, understanding what influence is the present participle as the adverbial condition. The main clause is a view may help us to understand. Then, following object clause. Yeah, it's a little complex, but it's quite common in medical academic paper. Finally, we may get some information for the restatement of the significance of the study in the paragraph 18 and 19. We may not get the details here, but please do not forget to check the highlighted sentence and core vocabulary listed here. Last but not least, we may go back the contents into details. If you do not understand some points of that, even you already understand what you have read. You'd better take these following questions in your mind. Let's have a look all the questions listed here. And welcome to join us in discussion part. Thank you very much. See you.